I think there's a lot of women out there who are exhausted from performing strength instead of actually feeling supported. We've mastered survival. We've even mastered professionalism. We've mastered what it looks like to show up poised and polished, even when our lives are falling apart behind the scenes. But there's somewhere along the way that we stopped asking ourselves who we are and who we want to be underneath all of that. And that's why I created this space. So let me be the first to say, welcome to She's on Business, the podcast where we stand 10 toes down in who we are while having real conversations about life, love, leadership, and everything in between. I'm your host, Alecs Lifschultz, leadership strategist, confidence coach, corporate baddie turned entrepreneur, your bestie in business, and probably the biggest hype woman you didn't know you needed. In this space, we're building businesses, we're breaking generational curses and cycles, we're healing out loud, we're learning how to take up space without apologizing for it, and we are redefining what success looks like on our own terms. So, respectfully, let's get into why this platform was created. There's a lot of conversations that I think we'll touch on during our time together. And what I really wanted was for those conversations to be not just surface level, not just, polished and professional, but real talk behind the scenes. What goes on in the day to day around topics like climbing the corporate ladder as a woman, but especially as a Black woman, identity, right? I think a lot of times there's several things that as women we can lose ourselves in, and that's from motherhood. Maybe it's the corporate cape that we wear, what our careers are. Maybe we lose ourselves in our relationships and with our partners. What it's like to be an ambitious woman in a space where maybe others don't really understand what drives that ambition and how ambitious women show up. The idea of success and humanity coexisting. We can be successful, but still want to be seen and treated and supported like humans. I think navigating transitions, right? Again, I think transitioning through different phases of life is something that we as women battle with a lot. Navigating, transitioning from being single to being in a relationship, navigating from being in corporate to entrepreneurship, navigating new journeys of motherhood and motherhood itself, sacrificing and really wanting to create examples for our children, create legacy, and really give them something to strive for. One of my favorite topics you'll hear me talk a lot about is going to be emotional intelligence and how we leverage that in our day-to-day lives, not just in the workplace, but in our personal lives to truly show up as ourselves, to stay grounded, to really build up that resilience muscle, to fight that mean girl voice in the back of our heads, that imposter syndrome. And then, I think all of those things need a space that exists deeper than just the surface level that you see on social media, right? I really wanted to create this space because I think there's a lot of us, myself in particular. I'm very eager and excited to share some of these conversations, but I think there's a lot of us that want to hear it. We need to feel that honesty, that transparency, not just the highlight reels, not just that hustle culture, right? Not just the boss babe corporate baddie. We want real life conversations around ambition and grief and confidence, healing, leaderships, relationships, burnout, reinvention, identity, and what it means truly to continue to evolve, to continue to become without losing yourself in the process. So again, those are some of the topics we'll continue to talk about. Maybe what happens when your career identity falls apart unprepared. Emotional intelligence as your superpower in leadership and in life. Navigating corporate and staying visible as a woman and as a Black woman. Healing after a heartbreak, motherhood and sacrifice. Building that resilience in real time. One of my favorites, collaboration over competition, and what it really costs to become the version of you that not just externally everyone applauds, but internally you're truly proud of. And I'll be having these conversations and I'll be bringing some of these topics to you from a place of experience, some from a place of education, and some from a place of partnership, right? I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, but I wouldn't be who I am today without my tribe and some of the people that are in my network. And I want to make sure that as I'm having these conversations, when I know someone is more equipped to speak on these topics than I am, or even to partner with me, I bring that to you as well. So I definitely just want to say, thank you for taking the time to be here. When we get this thing started, I cannot wait. I know there's a lot of times a lot of us have felt like maybe we were quietly holding ourselves together while figuring life out at the same time. This is why I created this space. Maybe there's some of us that are becoming and evolving into a new version of us while simultaneously grieving the version of us that existed before. Again, this space is for you if you're ambitious but exhausted, right? You're confident but you're also healing. You're successful, but you're still searching for some level of alignment. This is the space for you. You don't have to have it all figured out to sit at this table. Just know that we are going to be standing on business together, grounding ourselves together, becoming unshaken together. So, respectfully, welcome to She's on Business. Make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you share with a friend, make sure that you tell your network that this is coming, and I can't wait to have you all on this journey with me. Until next time.